What's up, dudes? Today is Monday. It's the 16th, and we are starting on time. I was gonna say early, but it's really just on time today. So yeah, let's jump in and try to get some coding done early this morning, and hopefully we can do bigger and better things and get this debugging behind us. Okay, so we're working with the 16th of September. It's 22, and we're gonna try to remember where I left off. Yes, or it wasn't yesterday. It was. What if it was Saturday? So that was what, Friday? Yeah, I think so. And we reviewed yesterday's work, associated logic reasoning, debug. We began reviewing card movements necessity for being run on server side more closely. Begin reviewing for being run on the closely. Associated with set of tuples for location. Review this in the entire project. Also did some other bug fixing reviews to ensure overall code integrity. Line by line review of card movement stopped at line 223. Okay, so let's open that up. Alright, well that's where we stopped, and let's pick it back up. Let's see what we got going on with this stream. Is it working? Okay, it's live. We're live on air. Here we are. Post it, check it, and then get away from it. Let's see if it works. Okay, yep, looks like it's working. Cool. Alright, now let's open Chibbity Jibbity, because you know we're probably gonna consult him or her at some point. At some point. So we're at line 223. Alright, so we're doing line by line review to see if this is going to be necessary for the server side. Alright, let's keep it going here. Alright. Change this attribute from a class adder. Yeah, I know what that says. You lift the draw to and self mirror game state list and current card not in P1 hand and current card not in P2 hand. And we have that in parentheses because we want to make it those two ands checks together. Okay. Current card image. So this just sets image. We don't need that, like, because we're working with we're not working with drawing the window on the server side, so like I don't think we need that, right? I'm pretty certain. Yeah, pretty certain we don't need that. Okay. Keep going. If change card image is equal to false, current card image, yep. Display layer, okay. X difference. Current card X less than log 0. Yeah, this is all like just calculations for making sure the card movement is proper, all that stuff. This is not like, so we got the X and Y changes. We don't need to transfer these because this is depend, so this will happen on the client side. So like server side, do we need server side? And I'm like, no, we don't need any of this server side. We don't need any of this. That, okay. It's gonna be easy, I can already tell. Nothing here that is necessary for server side. I'm like positive of that. Poke myself in the eye at work. I didn't poke myself in the eye. A box slip. We call them a slip package. Poked me in the eye, dude. I went to go bend over. Damn near put my eyeball out. It's like still sore. Anyway, okay, so we don't need any of this. None of it. Get out of here. Change this code using nanoseconds instead of float time. Therefore, need to compare to nanoseconds. It's not. It's in section. Da 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 da. Don't worry about that. All right, that's it. Done. Cool. Task finished. Put this on one side, and then you stay on the other side. We don't want the text and the code. We want them segregated. You dig? All right. Now we're going back over here. Let's see. Here's. SS card movement. Draw window main. After reviewing it says okay. Verified not needed SS. Currently where the buck stops. Okay, yeah, so we verified we don't need SS, like for sure. The next question would be the functions in the function dictionary. Yeah, so basically if we were to only do append on the server side, and then like once we entered into append, let's just open that up and look at this, we would get to here, and then we would continue on, and anywhere where we have data transfer function we would do that, but anywhere we have all these other data transfer function places, but anywhere that called I'm trying to find it, a movement function, like here's one, so any of these function calls they have in here, actually not that many, 1, 2, 3, okay there are, they're kind of faded, it's hard to see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have a few, and yeah, basically what would happen is we would just add a check. Well, so yeah, we would just add a check, like an if condition, or we could create a function which did the check that condition for us. Instead of having to write it 8 times or whatever, we would only write it once. But first we need to figure out if we need those functions on the server side. Whoa, we got shot, dude. Damn. Alright, so why is this over here? So need to go over there. So what we need to do now is trying to remember exactly, like, let's think about this for a second. We have append, funcdict, func, card movement. Okay. So where is it that we have the return? It's in card movement, I think. Let's do Control Shift F def card movement, and let's see what we got going on here. There we go. If change attribute list SS or CS is equal to SS, return. So we already implemented this, so card movement just doesn't get executed. Like it does, but it immediately returns. So instead of writing a bunch of if conditions that check this before card movement is, you just call it once. So now what we're checking is to see if the functions that call movement can be, if that's where we can move this check. If we can, where SS or CS inside of those functions instead of inside a card movement, it will save us some computational time and all that stuff. So let's do that. Right, so we have to first look at the dictionary. Locate, or rather, we'll just function. Alright, so we found it, and let me just write these down. I'll just write visual, actually, write them down. Caveman, what are you doing? Like you don't know how to use a computer. Alright, Control V, comma. Now we're gonna do visual mode update. So it's actually only, how many functions is it? It's 3 functions. It's not a lot actually. It's pretty cool. Okay. So now we're gonna search for each one of these functions and find where it's defined. Okay, so this is visual deck discard hand presort update. It eventually will call card movement. As you can see right here, it calls card movement. And okay, so this is a little bitty function. I didn't think it was this small. This might actually be easier than I thought it was gonna be, which is exciting. It's always exciting for things to be easier. Okay, so we have, if current card is equal to none, if presort in card group name, or hand in card group name, and wild cards not in card group name. Template equals, so this is for resituate. Whenever the hand presort play cards is being resituated, okay, after cards have just been appended to another card group, after having been popped from the hands, creates a replica of the card group for the cards to temporarily reside in, then iterates through the cards, appending them back into the card group. Yeah, I understand that. Okay, so if current card is equal to none, and that means it's the resituate section. Resituating. Okay. If presort in card group name or hand in card group name and wild cards not in card group name. So if it's presort or hand but not wild cards, then template equals card group copy, okay, and then card group clear. Alright, for X and template we do X card prior card group name equals none. Derivative of custom append list, append not transfer, do not transfer. Okay, and then card group append X card change from dir check. So I see what we're doing here. We're clearing it. We're clearing the card group. Well, copying it, clearing it, and then we're just re-adding the cards to it so that they will be visually displayed in the proper location. And then when we actually append them, I'm pretty sure the prior card group name will get assigned again. Let me make sure that's the case. I'm quite sure that is the case, but so we assign it in we assign that in card group data. Special case scenario. Okay, that's for round reset. Alright, so it says if item at 0, that prior card group name is not equal to none. Okay, so this is checking it. This is just checking it, etc., etc. This is for append. Okay, but where is it assigned? That's what we want to find. We want to see where. Okay, here we go. So it's assigned in pop actually. Make sure get assigned for that. It's assigned in dircheck, but that's different. Check iteration accessing check checking accessing still okay. Now we're accessing it again, and here's where we assign it, and this is in pop. Self at item, prior card group name, okay, and then we assign it in pop in a different spot. We assign it to none, and it says do not remove this line. Sets equal to none to avoid circular resituation. Ah, okay. To avoid circular resituation. Right, that's like some side effect. It won't be transferred currently because prior card name is not a calculated property. It does not need to be transferred because all of these data changes are derivative. Won't be transferred currently because prior card group name is not a calculated property. This does not need to be transferred because all these data changes are derivative of append pop clear for the case in which resituation is happening and the card is about to be passed to the append function. If prior card group name is not set to none, then it will recursively call the prior card group name resituation function again, and when in fact it should only run that once. This addition is fine, should not cause any problems, because whenever the cards will be popped from the location, they will be assigned new prior card group names. Okay, look at that. Look at your boy. I did a good job there with my comments, but I didn't put quotations around all these functions, which is I do this because I want to bring attention to them to make it easier to read, but I also do this to make sure that I am being careful, so that like I'm reminding myself, of what I'm talking about, if that makes sense. Like, it kind of makes me focus on it more closely, and it helps me to not make mistakes as much. Cool. So we found it, and so now we know it's assigned in pop, and it's assigned again here. Same thing basically. Is it reassigned here in verify this is a reasonable change, have not tested. So normally this is done through pop. Yeah, normally this is done via pop. We verified this is a reasonable change, but we haven't tested. Yeah, I don't think this would be an issue, but I'm not positive. I'm not really so much focused on that right now. Yeah, so we're good as far as this goes, I think. I think I have assured myself that we're safe. So which line was it? Okay, it was this one right here. So we have card group clear, change and reject true for X in temp loc. X card, prior card group name equals none. Yeah, so this is what would get executed on the server side as a derivative of the append. So I don't think we would need this done. I mean, like, we're not really changing anything, we're just moving them. That's pretty much all that happens. And since we don't display anything on the server side, I just don't think we would actually need to do this. I don't think we would. I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary to have this on server side. Card group name equals none. Card group append. X card change filter check true. Then we have else sets the card group dictionary of P1 hand equal to self P1. I don't remember this. What is this for? Why do we do this here? Oh, this is alright. Yeah. We just reworked this. We literally just changed this the other day. Because normally we were reassigning the entire dictionary, but we changed that. Okay. And again, since this is all derivative, this would all happen client side. We don't need it to happen on the server side because we don't do card movement. The display layer actually, like, so this display layer wouldn't get transferred anyway because data, what's it called? There's an attribute. Data transfer wouldn't be set to true in this instance, which means this display layer wouldn't get transferred, like, and it shouldn't because it's derivative. It would already happen on the client side. So I'm pretty positive we don't need this run on the server side. Looking at this and thinking about it, so I feel safe in saying we don't need it. Pretty certain. Alright, so let's go over here to things to do. And let's review all the functions. So we need to paste them in there. We got visual deck. Cool. They pop right up. Update. We have visual. Look at that. What about visual red 3? So visual meld group update versus visual meld update. Let's see. Is this a typo? Look for it. Project. Okay, so it's only in devlog and things to do. Oops. Whoops. Alright, there we go. So that's the 3. And we just reviewed that bad boy is not necessary for server side. You can just put verified, not needed, SS. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna do visual meld update. So we're gonna go over here and we're gonna look for def visual meld, and we only have one. There it is. Alright, so called by funcdigbeak includes play cards. Why wouldn't it? Oh, well, because we questioned that before. We didn't consider it to be just a meld group because it was mixed, but it's no longer mixed. Alright, so let's review it. Visual meld update. Alright. If still getting over the flu or whatever my kids gave me. It was pretty bad. Like it's like day 5 or something, 6. Pretty bad. Anyway, if custom appendless in string type item lower card num equals 0. So what is this doing exactly? Sets card num to 0, which will be increased by 1 for each card iteration. It begins iteration through the meld. Card num equals 0. An item. Custom appendless in string type item lower. Okay, so if it's a meld, card num equals 0. So we're appending to a meld group. We're appending a meld to the meld group if it's a meld, and we're iterating through the meld. We're calling card num Canasta detect. We'll look at that in a second. And then we change the display layer in card num. Simple. Okay, easy. Now if card is in string type item lower, if meld num is not equal to none, if meld num is not equal to none, okay, so if you're adding cards to a pre-existing meld equals eval of card group name meld num. Okay, so we don't want eval because eval is very underperformant, like terribly bad, like it's so bad. So it does save a few lines, but it's just not worth it. So how do we fix this? I'll hold off. Put a caution comment, block us from being able to run the script till we fix it. Fix does vary before perform net. Sometimes I can spell. Can't really type very well. Your problem. So then we have meld equals eval card group name. So does card group name must include the like the P1 or P2 prefix, right? It has to. Anyway, I'm not gonna worry about that. We'll fix that in a minute. So if free situate empty meld is equal to true, Resituate empty meld is equal to true. Okay, so then this is for if we're resituating an empty meld, and I don't really know what that means. If resituating the play card's meld group for the case in which the last card has been popped off from the meld, since the meld at meld -1 and the card group is empty, we want to visually reflect that by grabbing the next meld and putting it in the place of the empty one. So then we give the replacing meld the meld num. Ah, okay. Okay, I see. I have the empty meld, passing it to the card num canasta detect so that it will be visually put in its place. If, alright. Cool. That makes sense. And this is all just visual updates. We don't need these on the server side. We do need to check the card num canasta detect though, since it calls that function. Let's go ahead and do that. We will look at card num canasta detect, which is a little bit of a bigger. It takes card group name, card, meld, meld num, and card num. Meld num, card num. Okay. So this is just the locations, not terribly important. Well, anyway, we'll look at it just to be safe. I was gonna say I don't think we would need it server side, but I don't want to jump the gun. Let's just look at it. Card next location, calls card movement, changes display layer, changes the prior display layer, then calls card movement, so on and so forth. Okay, this is checking to see if it's a mixed meld. This is, yeah, none of this stuff is needed. I don't think any of that's necessary for server side, like at all. I don't think any of it is. So we just checked that one. Now we need to check the last one, and we'll just put this in devlog real quick. That we, not devlog, but things to do. We can put verified, not needed, server side here. And now we'll go to visual red 3 meld update. Alright. Let's check this bad boy out, see what we got going on with P1 current players. Da 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 da. Easy money. Simple shit. Yeah, done. We don't need it. Don't need it. Verified. Alright, we're done. Look at this, dude. See how easy this is when I actually just get off my ass and just do it? When I just do it, it's easy. Sometimes. I gotta take a sip of that cough medicine now. All this talking got my throat drier than the Sahara Desert. Feel like I swallowed one of those little spiky balls you find fall off the tree. Okay, so we verified that none of those functions are needed. Okay. So I'll just put verified not needed SS. Alright. And then we have the func dictionary, and I mean that's the func dictionary just calls the function. It's just a dictionary of the functions. So it looks like we actually can make it to where all we do is call append, and then whenever we call the func dict, we will, so we'll just put make it check SS or CS here. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna also, instead of checking it over and over, just create a function which checks it and call the function over and over. So instead of repeating ourselves, we'll just be repeating ourselves within the function. So we actually only write it once and run the function many times. So what we can do now is we can close this. Let's do Control Shift F, get rid of that. Let's check our extensions, dude. Do we have any extensions that we need to restart? Looks like we don't. So that's cool. We're rocking and rolling today. Let's go to Explorer, and what are we looking for? My goldfish brain just forgot. What are we doing? Okay, we are going to go into Func Dictionary, and we're gonna make, see all these calls, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So instead of saying if ss or cs is equal to cs over and over again, we'll just make a function which takes in a parameter, but where are we going to create that? Oh, where we assign the so should we assign it in locations where we originally assigned the func dictionary, because the function is gonna look like this. Let's just say our function is gonna look like, what will we call it? We'll call it locate dict func, or locate func dict and we'll just leave it at that. That's fine. And it's gonna have to take some arguments. The arguments are going to put it side by side for a second. So the argument it's gonna have to take in, because we're gonna call this locate function dictionary everywhere where we run this line, which is 8 times in custom list. So we're gonna have to take in these same arguments to hot potato them from this function to the actual dictionary value function. Okay, so first we need the card group name, right? Because that is what is used to access the associated value, the dictionary value associated with that particular. That is the key to access the value, which is the function that we're trying to access. So we need card group name. Card group name. We need, well, that gets used twice, so we only need to pass it once. It actually gets used again as the first well, sometimes it's not the first, sometimes it's the, and you see this, I should call these using keywords, because this ambiguous keyword shit is not good. It's just not, it's not professional. Like, I don't know. Maybe if I hover over this, see, it doesn't know which one I'm accessing. So that's why it says any. But if it knew, it would be able to tell me. But since this could be accessing whatever card group name is assigned to, and it doesn't know that until the script is running because it's a variable, it varies. You know, it doesn't know that. So when I'm just writing like self card group name and then right down here, instead of the first one being card group name, I have self. I don't know what self refers to. Like, I actually do know. Well, I think I do. Well, it refers to the the card group itself. But we should probably specify that. And we can do that like right now when we're defining this. I have to be careful doing this. I don't want to mess this up. I have to be really careful. So we need to actually open up locations. We're going to put locations right here because we need the parameters first. We're going to say def visual and just def visual. There's only 3 of these. Perfect. So now we're going to copy this, and we don't have to write self, but we can paste that in there. Bam. Okay, and we get rid of the self. Okay. Whoa. So now we have card group name, and then current card. Oh, they're different. Okay, I see what I'm gonna have to do here. So since these are different, keep it together, keep it together. You got this. Don't panic. Just chill. All right. So what we need to do, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Can I actually do this? Oh, no. I see, I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing this wrong. Okay. I see what I'm doing wrong here. Alright, so what we need to do, I was going about this in the incorrect way. We need to have the card group name. Let's highlight this. So this should happen a bunch. And let's shift F it. There's only 4, but I thought there was 8. I thought there was 8. Okay, so some of them use the prior card group name. Gotcha. So all this has to take it has to take all the arguments, doesn't it? That's kind of confusing. You know, that is kind of confusing. If I were to put all these different parameters, like, it's not that many. We have card group name, current card. Okay, Okay, now what's the rest? Like, let's get real here. What other ones do we have? We have this one, which has card group name, current card. This one has card group name, item, meld num, card num. See, the parameters are completely different. So like, I would have to add all these parameters to here. And then those parameters would have to get passed. The arguments, rather, would have to get passed. And since the logic depends on some of these equaling none, like, it's honestly just confusing. It's like, it's not an improvement to the code, to the project. I think it's safe to say that I would rather have 8 more instances of if SS or CS is equal to CS than I would have to use this weird function where I pass these args, because honestly, arg passing, like using a dictionary that accesses multiple functions with varying arguments, trying to use one shoe to fit all those different functions, that's gonna be an ugly you know what I mean? And it's gonna be confusing. That's an ugly ass shoe. I'm not even gonna use it. I'm throwing the shoe away. We're not gonna save it. Rest in peace. We're just gonna do the simple option, and that means damn, my throat hurts now. Fuck. If custom penless. So yeah, just make this real easy. We're gonna do what I didn't want to do, and we can't really add a return at any particular point in the code because these functions are messy. I mean, it works, but they're messy. They're kind of like delicate. So I think we're just gonna do the dirty. We're just gonna do the dirty. Doing it dirty here, which means what I didn't want to do. Okay. I forgive myself. So we're gonna go to 1 of 8, and we're just literally, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay. So to verify, if after I implement this, remove, and I'm gonna just put a little note here. Don't forget to remove insta return check in card move, since this is going to have the same function. Okay, yeah. So instead of us calling append and then append checking the func dict and calling the function which calls card movement, which calls draw window main, we're gonna have it just call append, because none of that's needed on the server side. We're just gonna call append, and then it's gonna run the append, and then when it gets to these clauses which would run the func dict check, it's gonna check to say first if changed attribute, why did I do that? If changed attribute list, do I not have this imported? No, I didn't think about this. How does it work when you import from the file directly and you import from the file. I think that might be a question for Chibbity Jibbity. Let me put I'll put a note here. How does it work when you both do from import X, import Y, and import X, and work with Y, or like not Y and stuff? Because what we need to do to be able to access SS or CS is we have to do import change attribute list, and this is required format for importing to utilize or to properly handle the original, what's it called, SS or CS. Which is checked here in various places. Yeah, so we have to do, since it's an immutable object, we have to check it like so. If change attribute list dot SS or CS, and it is, yes. That's how I wrote it everywhere else, so that's how it is here. So if change attribute list dot SS or CS is equal to CS, which is client side. So only if this is client side will we run this. So only run this on client side. Not necessary to, and I'll put verified. Verified, not necessary to run any of these server side. Now we can just copy this line, and then we're gonna go through each instance of this, and we're just gonna add this line in. Boom. And technically we could add, we could make this an and. Like, we don't have to. Well, I gotta be careful though, because if there's anything else that gets executed in the clause other than just this locate, that would not be good to make it check and SS or CS. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the and. So let's copy this. We're gonna back it up. And we don't have to do the and. It's just to make it less lines. But since that is what we're checking, it's just two conditions. I can read two conditions on one line. It's no big deal. Only enter this clause on service client side, verified, not necessary to run this SS. Okay, so we're just gonna copy that part, and then we're gonna do the same thing here. We have if self and eval self card group name. If self and eval of card group name, and then we run this, and that's the only thing we run here, so it's safe to do and again. So we'll do if self and eval self card group name and change attribute list SSCS only enters clause on CS verified, not necessary to to this, to run this. And we can just say to run. We already know we're talking about this. We don't really need to explicitly say that. If self in eval self car group name and change attribute list at ss or cs is equal to cs. Now we have if red3 in self car group name and change attribute list at ss or cs is equal to cs, only if this falls on client side. Okay. And okay, so if you have I'm trying to think, how do I do this part? If red3 and else, that would mean like, yeah, because if it's true and false, then it's gonna be false. So then if it's gonna go from the if to the else, because the if was considered false, because for and both has to be true. So if one was true, it's gonna go check the else, and it's gonna run the else, because if this one's not true, else basically means if not if, like if not if, that means else. So if not if, we run this section, but we don't want this. So we could just say elif, because we do have an else already excluding this. So we'll just say elif change attribute list. Elif change attribute list that ss or cs is equal to cs. Yeah, if red3 in self car group name. And we'll just say if red3 not in self car group name. So basically we're just gonna to be crystal clear here and not confusing at all, we'll say elif if red3 in car group name and such equals cs, elif red3 not in self card group name and such equals cs. Yes, that's the better way, I think. That's like crystal clear, and the performance is probably, you know, there's virtually no difference. And I acted like I was done, but I'm not actually done. So we have this one, this one. This is for if and, if and, if and, if and. Okay, now we have this one for meld. Hold up, let me make sure. Okay. You see, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I could actually just check this once. I could just check this. Since this if only does the locate functions and this else only does the locate function, I don't have to check it like this. So let me undo this real quick. Do this a little better. That was stupid. Dumbass. this again. See how nice and pretty and short this is? Just your self-card group name in self-meld group name tube, and since this only pertains to executing the locate func dict either way, actually, even better, since both the if and the else only execute locate func dict, that's it, that's all that they do, then we can just do a standalone bam, if change attribute list dot ss or cs is equal to mother clinging cs. So only in the case verified don't need to verified only execute this client side. Server side doesn't need to execute. Bam! Bam! And then all we gotta do is this. Look at it. There it goes. There it goes. I told you, dude, I'm an absolute genius, bro. I tried to tell you. You didn't want to listen. Look at what I can do. Look what I can do. Easy money. Look at that. Bam. So it checks this one time. If change attribute list dot ss or cs is equal to cs, it will only enter in that case, which means that it will then put this up here. All right. All right, cool. That was easy. Now let's keep going. So that was 4 in 1. That took care of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this one. Yeah, none of this needs to happen. This should only, I might be able to do it again. I might be able to do a one and done here. Because this checks if it's a custom append list, checks the length, checks the prior card group name, prior meld num, locate resituate cards no sound, meld num, meld and eval. So this is checking, setting something that doesn't need to be set on server side. Because that's derivative, it's gonna get run on the client side regardless. Equals matter. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Server side. Okay. And now I can check this elif clause for the same. See, it's the same exact thing. I hate this scroll wheel. See how it does that? It just like doesn't work anymore. Scroll wheel's broken. So this if and then elif verified doesn't need to be run server side, and then we have this if elif with the hand right here. So that does the same thing. That doesn't need to be run either. So this whole if elif, we're another one and done. Hold up, dude. That's it, bro. We can just literally do one line. Watch this. Because all of this, let me just triple check this. So we put it right here, right? And then we indented this. And then I was gonna put it again here. Right here. And then indent all this to be on the same indentation level as the above section. And since this if elif, that if is definitely not needed, and then the elif is also not needed, and then this elif is also not needed. That means we can just, they're all dependent upon this one condition. So instead of doing it twice, because like let me just verify. Before we added this, it was all like this. It was just like this. Before we changed anything. I'm gonna copy this real quick. I know it's hard to follow, but now we're gonna undo again. I just want to make sure I'm not messing anything up here. Before we got here, this was how it was, right? Okay, so get rid of that. Move this up here. Alright. And then this is the if that handles locate, elif, else, so we can put it outside of this. And then this is the same thing. If, and it ends up running locate function. Elif ends up running locate function. And then this if elif does the same thing, it ends up running the locate function. So yes, verified, double discount, double check. We Aaron Rodgers it. So now we just need to. That's my place. Oop, almost put it in the wrong spot. Right here. Right here. Bam. Just do one line right here. If change attribute list .ss or cs verified, only execute this cs executes or handles execution of all locate function calls. Oh, I love it, dude. When I can just now I can highlight all this, that, and then bam, indent it. Look at that, dude. Look at that, boys. Now let's see, how many did this handle? Did this handle all of them? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yes. 248 all the way up to what? 171, 172 to 248. We did it, bro. I got good at this. I got good at this, bro. I'm starting to crash a little bit. I need some more caffeine, bro. I need caffeine. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the gym now or if I'm gonna go to the gym in a minute. Oh, we're at an hour and 10. We're at an hour 10. Dilemma, dilemma. Dilemma, dilemma. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this real quick. Right. Don't forget to return check. This is going to have the same function. Right, so now we check this line, and then everything else which handles the locate func call doesn't ever get executed. So all this code right here, all this code no longer is going to get executed on the server side. SS or CS is equal to CS. Beautiful. Cool. Alright, so let's get rid of that. Now we're going to go back over here. We're going to go to def card movement. And now well, this is a fail-safe. Like, okay. Let me see. Where else does card movement get called? Let's... Okay, so it gets called in one of the visual functions. Same, same, same. Same. Is that it? Yeah, that was it. Okay, so yeah, I don't even need to keep it as an extra fail-safe. Fail-safe. I don't need to keep it as an extra fail-safe. Yeah, we don't. You don't. Just know you don't. So what was I doing here? Alright, so yeah, we're gonna close this. Close this. Yeah. Alright. So def card movement. Why is there two? Okay. So we can get rid of this. We don't need this because, like, if self that game object is not equal to none. So do we need to check, would game object ever be equal to? Well, it can't be, because that's what determines draw window. So it has to be assigned. If it's equal to none, then that would just throw an error. That would just throw an error, my dude. There we go. We did it. We moved, we significantly trimmed the execution of code on server side concerning display, which is actually pretty important. Like, so I think what this implies is, I just realized this, so let me put this right here. I'll put, before I forget, after fix implication. Doesn't this fix imply that all of the places in game, pie, etc., which would check for screen surface in directory, etc., doesn't this fix imply that all of the places in game pie, etc., which would check for screen service in directory, etc., are now like obsolete and unnecessary, since we will never execute a draw window main function call from server side, meaning that if the purpose of the screen surface check was to weed out execution on server side, since we never would execute it due to the much earlier check for SS, that code is obsolete and can be removed. Yeah, I think so. So let's see, none of the data is needed. Let me get rid of all this. Bam, bam, bam. Cool. Alright, so now I'm just gonna change this to say implication after SS card main fix. The implication, let's just change this around. After the movement of SS versus CS check, doesn't this fix imply at all places? Yeah. If so, remove all that code, since it is now dead. Float code. True. Alright, and then after we finish this, we'll be completely done. We'll have trimmed up the code base, we'll have made it a lot more performant, we'll have made it less bug prone, we'll have made it more secure by making it less bug prone, etc., etc. It's just it was a worthwhile change. And then after we check this last thing to remove even more dead code, which became dead through this fix, we can get back to fixing that draw animation disappear bug, if it still exists, because we might have fixed it in the process and changing the stuff. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna put my break time, which is now. It's 11:40. Take some more medicine, some more caffeine to get, going again. I might go to the gym. I don't know. I'm thinking. I might do the gym. I used to do the gym at in the evening, and then I would do coding. I would just code all morning, but I kind of crash, and I feel maybe a little bit more productive whenever I separated into two sections, because you see I'm yawning right now. So I went to work at 4:45 this morning, and just kind of crash because I've been up for 7 hours so far. And then I started going to the gym at noon instead, and dividing up the coding session into two separate sections. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably divvy it up. I'm gonna go to the gym, take some caffeine, wake myself back up, eat, and come back and do another, we already did an hour and 20. So if I do another hour and 20, or another hour 40, that'll put me at 3 hours, and that's really good. 3 hours is like 3 hours for me is good. I'm happy with 3 hours a day. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I'm actually gonna we'll do our devlog real quick since we're gonna take our actual break. So it's not gonna be 11:40. It's gonna be 11 something. So we'll put 11:42. Finished implementing SS versus CS check fix to improve server-side logic by not executing large portions of SS unnecessary code blocks. Major improvement for project code security. Not really code security, just like major improvement for server-side bug reduction and server-side performance. That's really what it did, and that's fine. So we're gonna take a break now. We went from 10:22 to 11:42, which was an hour and 20 minutes, which is basically an hour and 15 minutes. So we'll put 1.25 hours, and we're gonna put and because we're gonna come back and we're gonna do XX to XX, and then we're gonna put equals 1.25 plus X hours equals blank hours. Yeah, that's a lot. So 1:44 to so and so is going to be our break, and yeah, so I'll come back and I'm not even gonna take a break. I'm just gonna like nix my 10 minutes break. I'm gonna include it in my my gym time. So I'll be back in an hour or two, and we'll smash another hour and a half. Peace.